Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast. I'm Alex, your host, and today we are diving into a very powerful and practical topic: how to increase your value in life, career, and even in your daily conversations. You know, many people feel stuck, like they are not growing, not improving, and not getting the opportunities they really want. So today we're going to break everything down in a simple, friendly, and real way. And of course, I'm not alone. I've got David with me today.
Hey, Alex, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here because this topic is something that can truly change people's lives. And let me say this first: your value is not just about money or your job title, it's about your mindset, your habits, your skills, and how you make other people feel when they interact with you. If you work on these areas step by step, your value will naturally grow and opportunities will start coming to you instead of you chasing them.
That's such a powerful point, David. I think many people listening right now might feel a bit lost. They might be thinking, I'm just an average person, nothing special about me. And honestly, that feeling is very common. So let me ask you this in a simple way. If someone wants to start increasing their value today, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, what is the very first step they should take in a practical and realistic way?
I love this question because it's simple but very important. The first step is self awareness. You need to understand who you really are. What are your strengths? What are your weak points? What are your habits? Many people skip this step and just copy what others are doing, and that's a big mistake. Take a notebook, write things down, and be honest with yourself. When you clearly see where you are, it becomes much easier to improve and move forward with confidence.
That makes a lot of sense. So basically, it's not about being perfect, it's about being honest with yourself. And I think this part is uncomfortable for many people. Nobody likes to see their weaknesses clearly, but maybe that's exactly where growth begins, right? When you accept your reality, you can actually start changing it. And guys, trust me, even I had to go through this process, and it wasn't easy at all in the beginning.
Exactly, Alex. And let me add something very important here. You should not judge yourself too harshly. This is not a competition with other people. You are only competing with your past version. Even small progress matters a lot. For example, if you improve just 1% every day over time, that becomes a huge difference. Think of it like going to the gym. You don't see results in one day, but with consistency, your strength grows naturally.
I really like that idea of 1% better every day. It sounds simple, but it's actually very powerful. Now let's talk about skills because this is where many people feel confused. There are so many options today: learning English, improving communication, gaining technical skills, starting a business, and more. So David, if someone wants to increase their value faster, what kind of skills should they focus on first without feeling overwhelmed?
That's a great question. If I want to keep it simple, I would say start with communication skills. If you can express your ideas clearly, listen actively, and understand people better, you already have a huge advantage. After that, learning English is extremely valuable because it connects you to the world. Then you can choose a specific skill based on your interest or career. But remember, communication is always the foundation of everything.
That's so true, and I've seen this in real life many times. Some people have amazing knowledge, but they don't know how to share it, so they stay invisible. On the other hand, some people are not experts, but they communicate very well and they get better opportunities. So guys, don't ignore this. Practice speaking, practice explaining your ideas, even if you make mistakes. That's part of the learning process. All right, guys, now it's your turn. We really want to hear from you. What skill do you think is the most important today for increasing your value? Is it communication, English, or maybe something else like technology or business skills? Take a moment and write your answer in the comments. We read them all. And if you are enjoying this episode, please like it, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
All right, Alex, now let's go a bit deeper. Increasing your value is not only about learning new things, but also about removing bad habits. Many people focus only on adding skills, but they forget to stop doing things that waste their time. For example, spending too much time on social media without learning anything or avoiding challenges because they feel uncomfortable. If you remove these negative habits, you create space for growth, and that is extremely powerful.
Wow, that's a great point. So it's not just about doing more, it's also about doing less of the wrong things. I think many people don't realize how much time they waste every day. And when you add all that time together, it becomes hours, even days. So guys, maybe today is a good day to check your habits and ask yourself, is this helping me grow or not? That simple question can really change your direction.
Exactly, Alex. And let me give a simple tip here. Replace bad habits with good ones instead of just trying to stop them. For example, if you spend 1 hour scrolling on your phone, try to replace 30 minutes of that time with learning something new, like watching an English lesson or listening to a podcast like this one. Small changes like this are easier to follow, and over time, they create big results in your life.
I like that idea because it feels realistic. You're not telling people to completely change their life in one day. You're just asking them to make small, smart changes. And honestly, that's much easier to do. So David, let's talk about something interesting. How important is your environment? The people around you, your friends, your coworkers, do they affect your value?
Oh, this is a big one. Your environment has a huge impact on your value. If you spend time with people who are motivated, positive, and always learning, you will naturally start thinking and acting like them. But if you're around people who complain all the time and don't want to grow, it will slow you down. So choose your environment carefully. You don't have to cut people off, but you should be aware of their influence.
That's so true. And I think many people feel this, but don't talk about it. Sometimes it's hard to change your environment, especially if it's your family or your workplace. But maybe you can add new influences, like listening to podcasts, reading books, or following positive people online. That way you slowly build a better mental environment for yourself without making big, difficult changes.
That's a smart way to look at it. You don't need a perfect environment, you just need a better one. Even small positive inputs can change your mindset over time. And remember, your value is strongly connected to your mindset. If you believe you can grow, you will take action. If you think you are stuck, you won't even try. So always protect your mindset like it's something very valuable.
I love that idea. Protect your mindset. That's powerful. Now let's talk about confidence. Many people say, I want to increase my value, but I don't feel confident. So David, what comes first? Confidence or action? Should people wait until they feel confident or should they act even when they feel unsure?
This is a very common question, and the answer is simple. Action comes first. Confidence is not something you wait for, it is something you build. When you take action, even small action, you start proving to yourself that you can do things. That's how confidence grows. So don't wait to feel ready. Start now, make mistakes, learn, and improve. That's the real path to increasing your value. Now, let's ask you something, guys. What is one small action you can take today to increase your value? Maybe learning 5 new English words, practicing speaking for 10 minutes, or reading something useful, Write your answer in the comments right now. We really want to see your ideas. And if you find this helpful, don't forget to like this episode, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.
All right, David, let's continue this because it's getting really interesting. I want to talk about something that many people struggle with: fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of looking stupid. These fears stop people from taking action. So how can someone deal with these fears while trying to increase their value? Because honestly, it's easy to say take action, but in real life, it feels scary.
You're absolutely right, Alex. Fear is natural, and everyone feels it. The difference is not in feeling fear, but in how you respond to it. One simple way to deal with fear is to make your actions smaller. Instead of doing something big and scary, break it into small steps. For example, if you're afraid of speaking English, start by speaking for 1 minute, then increase it slowly. This way, fear becomes manageable.
That's a really practical tip. I like the idea of making things smaller. It feels less scary and more doable. And I think people often wait for the perfect moment, but that moment never comes. So maybe the secret is to start before you feel ready. Even if it's messy, even if it's not perfect, just start. Because action creates momentum, and momentum helps you keep going.
Exactly. And let me add something important. You should also change how you see failure. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of success. Every mistake teaches you something. If you avoid failure, you also avoid learning. So instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? That simple change in thinking can make a huge difference in your growth journey.
That's such a powerful mindset. I think many people take failure too personally. They think, I failed, so I'm not good enough. But that's not true. Failure is just feedback. It tells you what to improve. So guys, next time you make a mistake, don't feel bad. Instead, ask yourself what you can learn from it. That's how you turn every experience into something valuable.
Absolutely. And let's talk about consistency because this is another key factor. Many people start strong, but they don't continue. They feel motivated for a few days, then they stop. But real value comes from consistency, not from short bursts of motivation. Even if you do something small every day, it is better than doing something big once a week. Consistency builds trust in yourself.
That's very true. I think consistency is hard because it's not exciting. It's just doing the same thing again and again. But that's where real growth happens. So maybe people need to focus less on motivation and more on discipline. Because motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you moving forward even when you don't feel like it.
Exactly. And here's a simple trick. Make your habits easy. If something is too difficult, you won't continue. For example, instead of saying, I will study English for 2 hours every day, start with 10 minutes. It sounds small, but it's powerful. Once you build the habit, you can increase the time. The goal is to make it so easy that you cannot say no.
I like that a lot. Make it easy, stay consistent, and grow step by step. That sounds like a simple formula, but it really works. And guys, remember, increasing your value is not something you do for 1 week or 1 month. It's a long-term process. So be patient with yourself and enjoy the journey. You are not late. You are just getting started.
I really like what you said, Alex, and I want to add something important here. One of the biggest challenges people face is not starting, but continuing. Many people feel excited at the beginning, but after a few days or weeks, they lose energy and stop. Real growth happens when you keep going, even when you do not feel motivated. Discipline is more powerful than motivation because it helps you stay consistent every single day.
That is such a powerful point. I think many listeners needed to hear that today. David, can you share a simple daily habit that can help people stay consistent and not give up? Something easy that everyone can start today without feeling overwhelmed or confused. Because I believe small daily actions can create big results over time if people stay patient and focused.
Yes, of course. One simple habit is to set a small goal every day and complete it no matter what. It can be as simple as reading one page, learning 5 new words, or practicing a skill for 10 minutes. The key is not the size of the action, but the consistency. When you complete small tasks every day, you build confidence and momentum. Over time, these small wins become big achievements.
That is a great message to remember. I think many people feel pressure when they compare themselves to others on social media. But as you said, the real competition is with yourself. Try to be better than yesterday, even if it is just a little bit. That is how real growth works. And remember, every expert was once a beginner who decided not to give up.
Exactly, Alex. And I want to say one last thing. Do not wait for the perfect time to start. There is no perfect moment. Start now with what you have. Even if it is not perfect, it is still better than doing nothing. Action creates clarity. When you start moving, you understand more, you learn more, and you grow faster. So take action today, even a small one.
This has been such an inspiring conversation, David. Thank you for sharing your experience and advice with us. I believe our listeners learned many useful ideas today. If you enjoyed this episode, please let us know by liking and commenting. Your feedback means a lot to us and helps us improve our content for future episodes.
Thank you, Alex. It was a pleasure to be here. And to all the listeners, remember that your future depends on what you do today. Do not wait for change, create it. Believe in yourself, stay consistent, and never stop learning. We are all on this journey together, and every step you take matters.
All right, everyone, this is the end of today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Do not forget to subscribe, share this podcast with your friends, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We will see you in the next episode with more interesting topics. Take care, keep growing, and have a great day.